the Dark Enlightenment. This is a I would say a kind of a truly shocking story. There's this group of tech bros, of tech guys. Curtis Yarvin is probably the most well-known among them, but there's a bunch of them out of Silicon Valley and regions thereof that have for a decade or so been making the argument that democracy is outdated, that it doesn't work, that it's messy, that it's inefficient. We need to get over our dictator phobia and basically run America like a corporation. Now, in a corporation, the CEO is king. The CEO can do whatever he or she wants. In most states, they can fire people at will. They can bestow gifts and they can bestow punishments, right? So this is the ideology. This is what these guys are thinking, is that the reason why. You see, here's the thing. People are wondering, what the hell is going on? Why is Elon Musk deconstructing the American government? Why is he literally taking institutions apart? Why did Trump shut down the education department yesterday? The thing yesterday, the process is beginning today. Why? And, some people think that it's because both Musk and Trump are in tight with Putin, and there's a lot of evidence of that, and that they're trying to destroy our government at Putin's direction. Other people think that they're nuts, that they're psychopaths or sociopaths. Bandy Lee has written about this, and Paul Krugman recommended a psychiatrist weigh in. Some people think that it's just a way of crippling our government so that they can privatize Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. And Medicare is already half privatized, thanks. And now they want to privatize the post office and Social Security and Medicaid, just so that their campaign donors can make a pile of money, right? And some people think that they're just trying to cut government to pay for the $4 trillion tax break for billionaires that they're going to be rolling out in a couple of weeks. All of these answers are both right and wrong. And the wrong part, I think, is really the important thing here. And that is that these guys have in mind a new experiment. We refer to the American experiment, as this thing that, Washington and Jefferson and Hamilton and Paine and Franklin and Madison and Ben Rush and, that these guys put together back in the day as this extraordinary experiment democracy, flowered and then failed in Greece, the boot of military conquest, and was flirted with in Rome for a couple of generations too, 2 millennia ago. And so, we say this 240-year has been the American experiment. Well, these guys have a brand new experiment that they want to replace the founders' American experiment with. And it involves basically gutting all of the government institutions. They're absolutely necessary, and using artificial general intelligence, AGI, which we haven't quite hit yet, but using AI to basically run these agencies. They're using AI right now to sort through government sites looking for DEI, and AKA black people and queer people. But there's actually an ideology here, and this is not the ideology of the old libertarians that were such the rage during the Reagan time, and it's also not entirely new. They will tell you that if you want to look at a country in the world that is doing what they want done, it's Singapore. Now, I was in Singapore back in 1994. Admittedly, that was 30 years ago, and things have probably gotten a little better. In fact, probably gotten quite a bit better. But it's still a police state. Singapore is not a free nation by most definitions. I had given a speech on ADHD to a parents group, and they asked the question at the end of the speech, what can we do to get some of these suggestions that you have into our schools? And I said, get politically active. Boards, talk to your legislators. And when I got back to my hotel room had been torn apart. And it was basically the police telling me that my suggestion that people get politically active was inappropriate in Singapore. So, this is the country that these guys are saying they want to model the United States after. This is a quote from an article in Mother Jones about this. Singapore has banned all kinds of free speech, intervened in marriages and family planning, encouraged eugenics, caned people for minor crimes, created an ethnically homogenous class. There it's all Chinese, here it would be all white men, right? Treated the migrant worker population as second-class citizens, and famously banned chewing gum. The model is economic development above all else, above human rights, everything. It's called soft authoritarianism. The former president of Singapore, leader, I don't recall his title, he said, the exuberance of democracy leads to indiscipline and disorderly conduct, which are inimical to development. So here we've got this, these philosopher kings of the Dark Enlightenment movement who are saying that what we need to do is destroy government, destroy the American government, so we can rebuild it as a technocracy with the really smart people like Elon Musk in charge. We're going to put the geniuses in charge of the government. What they're doing. And all they need is a monarchical leader, like the leader of Singapore, who's willing to play that role. And even though I don't think that Donald Trump even understands what the whole Dark Enlightenment is, he's more than happy to be their useful idiot as long as they keep paying the bills and keep shoveling money to him. Elon Musk just gave him another $100 million last week, or at least, that was the press report. Now, there is this new site that is keeping track of how rapidly they're deconstructing our government. A caller called in and turned us onto it yesterday. I spent some time on it yesterday afternoon. It's fascinating. It's project2025.observer. Project 2025, PROJECT 2025.observer, OBSERVER. I didn't even know there was a .observer domain, but sure enough, there it is. And also, the project for the billionaires to take complete control of our political system. In 2024, 150 billionaire families spent fully 18% of all spending in that election. 18%. This 150 billionaire families represent 0.00045% of the American population. And yet they spent 18% of all the spending. That is not democracy. That's oligarchy. And, the Dark Enlightenment, these guys are following the writings of Thomas Carlyle and Julius Evola and Oswald Spengler, who I've talked about many times on this program, saying that the classic societal structures, there's a reason why for 2,000 years in Europe you basically had strongman rule, whether it was popes or warlords or kings, that's the natural order of things. That's how things should be, and that's what we need to get back to here in the United States. They're literally reversing the American Revolution. We fought a revolution to get rid of the king. They want to bring... And, most people don't even know about this. They've never heard of the Dark Enlightenment. So, check it out. You can Google it. There's no shortage of articles that have been written about it, even including in places like the New York Times. It's just that they never really kind of burst through the top of the media barrier to really be part of Americans' consciousness unless you're really paying careful attention, which I've been doing for years. So, but they're here, and it's now. So, we need to be waking people up to this as a starting point.